Hi everyone, good evening. First of all, thank you for joining this demo session at Downtown Coders. So in this session, we are generally focusing on the front-end development technologies together with Angular. And the main reason for ensuring this training purpose is to ensure that you guys understand these technologies and get into the IT industry. So Pooja, I have a few questions for you that why you are exactly looking for Angular training at this moment. You're on mute if you're speaking.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to grow myself, and I want to grow my skill so that I can means switch or to new in the new application. So that's why I want to learn Angular.
Right. That's great. So there are actually few reasons why we want to switch into the IT. It can be a switching into IT industry or beginning your career in the IT industry. So the top technologies right now, Angular is one of them. So basically, the main motto of this entire training, I would like to share my screen and give this demonstration to you. So there are two ways in which we can get into the industry. So the first is to enter as a fresher or experience whatever we want. And the second is basically to upgrade. So as Pooja rightly mentioned that she wants to upgrade her skills and understand Angular more. And there can be another person who would like to enter the IT industry as a fresher, and the technology that he or she would be targeting will be Angular. So the basic reason for understanding Angular is it is one of the top leading technologies that is there in the market at the moment. Right. So what is Angular? Right. So we will be getting into the entire details of what is Angular, what are the things that we are going to cover. But first, I would like to give you an overview of who's Downtown Coders and why you need to enroll into Downtown Coders, or what are the things that we are going to provide you guys so that you can understand the ladders properly. Because when we are going to take each step at a time, we will be reaching to the destination at some point of time. So you need to understand the entire process of this entire module. And once you know about it, you will have a better understanding of the technologies that we are learning, our approach towards ensuring that you get the proper knowledge. And ultimately, the offer letter matters a lot. So why Downtown Coders? There are many reasons to join Downtown Coders. Okay. First of all, we believe in only one thing, which is knowledge. So we ensure that you get the proper knowledge from the industry experts. So at Downtown Coders, we do not have any trainers or teachers or professors. So we are all industry experts with years of experience in the industry. So we have been serving the industry since a long time. And we believe that right now we are in a position wherein we can share our experience, we can share our knowledge with you guys, which will actually help you to understand the core technicalities or the core knowledge of the subject, whatever you are getting trained on. So this is the most important factor, because I believe in one thing, that if you have the right knowledge, then you can reach to, or you can crack any job. Okay, it is not a job oriented kind of preparation that we will be doing. We will be actually learning the technologies which will actually help us in the long run. So the first reason, and the most important reason to join Downtown Coders is to know the things from scratch. So we do not need any prerequisite knowledge of yours. If you have, that's great. If you do not have, then also it's not a problem, because we are going to train you guys from A, B, C, D. Means whatever things that will be required to know and understand and have this knowledge, we are going to train you on that. So from day one onwards, you will be under the right guidance of the industry experts. And the third thing, so knowledge is done. You do have understanding of the technicalities as well. The third thing is, which is very important in any training module, is a project. So without project, this knowledge won't matter, because once you know the knowledge, you need to know that where to implement it. So we will be focusing on this project. We'll be working on a live project under Agile methodology, which is the uh, project flow that is followed in the industry at the moment. So we will be following the project under Agile methodology, wherein there will be Scrum Master who will be involved, who will be ensuring or who will be leading the project from the front. And every day we will have our Scrum calls, our retrospective sessions, our sprint planning, everything, whatever things that will be required to ensure a project is successfully completed. You'll be working under Agile methodology under your Scrum Master. Okay, so that is very important. So the knowledge is done. You are aware of the project as well. Then what? Obviously, you are right now ready to hit the market. But before hitting the market, the most important thing is to give interviews. So you will face interviews with us. So there will be a series of 3 mock interviews with us. Okay. And these mock interviews are extensive interview session that you would be having with us, wherein we will be giving you feedbacks. What are your strengths? In which areas you are doing good? What are the areas of improvements? We are going to focus on all those things, so that once you get the green signal from us that you are ready to hit the market, you should go and hit the live interviews and crack it. Okay, what we have observed that in 2 to 3 interviews max, 2 to 3 live interviews, a candidate from Downtown Coders actually gets placed. So these interviews matters a lot. So you will be facing a rigorous interview sessions with us. So after the mock interview is done and you get a green signal from us, we are going to prepare your resume, because you might not be aware of how a resume is required to be built. So we will be preparing search engine optimized resumes for you guys. Okay, so that you can post it on different social media platforms so that you start receiving calls. So your resume will be taken care by us. Your social media platforms like Naukri and LinkedIn profile will be taken care by us as well. Okay, so we are going to create all those things for you. And the final and the most important thing, so I should write in caps, is placement. Okay, so we do have a commitment that till the time you are placed, you are actually the responsibility of DownTownCoders. So placement plays a very important role for us. So if you are looking for a switch, then we will ensure that you get the switch, get the opportunity from the market, so that you can face as many interviews as possible. So our commitment is till the time you are placed, you are our responsibility. So how many n number of times if you have to go through the training module once again, you will be going through, and you won't be charged extra any time. Okay. So placement plays a very important role. And to get the placement, these are the 5 factors that you need to get done properly. 5 or 6 factors. So you need to ensure that you follow your trainers, your mentors from day one itself, so that you can know everything and slowly take one step at a time and get into the destination that you are actually looking for. That is to either get into the IT industry or switching your job. So these things are very important. So you might have many years of experience working in a non-IT company or no technical knowledge at all. That does not matter a lot, okay? Because what matters is, as I mentioned earlier, is your knowledge. Once you have the right knowledge, we are going to set your entire roadmap. So we will create the roadmap for you guys, that how you can use your experience, your profile to get into the IT industry. Because once this roadmap is clear, then we can actually build the entire profile out of it. So you might be working in a customer service profile, you might be working in IT support profile, you might be working as an admin, you might be working as an assistant manager might be, or you can be working as an accountant. But still, it is very, very possible to get into the IT industry, because this roadmap matters a lot. And we are going to sit with you individually one-on-one to understand your profile and then develop and shape your profile so that we can make it into the IT industry. Getting into the IT industry is not that difficult. It is only the preconceived notions that we have in our mind that it is difficult. But actually, the right guidance is required. And we are here to give you the proper guidance so that you can know the things from day one itself and move into the industry that you are targeting. Okay, so it might be many years you have been struggling in your own domain. Give us your 3 to 4 months of time, whatever is the duration of this entire training module. So the duration is 4 months. So give us that time. You have might be wasted 5 to 7 years or 10 years of your life working in any other domain. So give us 4 months of your time. We will ensure that you get your roadmaps done correctly and move into the IT industry with full grace. Okay, so any questions, guys, till now you can ask. Okay, don't feel free to ask any questions, please. I guess Hassan has also joined. Hi, Hassan, how are you? If you're speaking, you're on mute. Okay, since there are no questions from anyone, I believe that it's all clear right now. So having said that, I would like to introduce your trainers with you. So we will be covering an entire module of front-end development, wherein we will be starting from HTML, CSS, JS. So I'm not going into the technicalities of it. I am going to introduce the trainers with you guys. So we have two trainers. One is who is Avinash and Rohit. So they are carrying years of experience working in the IT industry, worked under multiple clients, handle various complex projects as well. So they are going to train you. So they will ensure that you learn the concepts from scratch from day one itself. So if we have a practical oriented approach wherein we will be sharing our screens, doing a lot of coding stuffs and all, which are very easy codes, by the way. It's not nothing that it's rocket science. So easy learning things, easy learning module we have developed for you guys. So Avinash or Rohit, whoever wants to take over, please go ahead and introduce yourself and speak to our candidates. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Subdeep sir. Hi, everyone. Good evening. I hope everyone is doing great. So I'm Avinash Khere. I have 3+ years of experience in IT industry in the front-end technology. So I'm associated with the one of the reputed MNCs, and I have skill sets like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, TypeScript, Bootstrap, SAS, Angular, and I will be teaching here HTML and CSS for you guys. So first of all, I would like to ensure that each and every concept here we are teaching, we will be ensure that each and every concept should be clear with you, and you can able to do work in each and every environment where you will work in future. So I will start with the HTML and CSS part that we are going to cover in our Angular course. So under the Angular course, there is a HTML and CSS part as well, which is very basic and very easy to understand, like, but important as well. So in HTML, first of all, we will see what is an HTML. HTML is an hypertext markup language which is used to develop an web pages. Web pages actually, like we can say, they tells the browser how to render the web application on the browser. So it comes with the, again, it comes with the HTML and CSS part as well, and the content inside the HTML file. So with the help of HTML and CSS, with the help of CSS, we can beautify the HTML content which we write inside. So, and with the JavaScript, we can add some functionality to interact with the web pages. So here we can see HTML introduced in 1993 by Berners-Lee. So and which is used for development of the web pages. So we will mainly focus on the HTML5 under the HTML. So HTML5 have like introduce some new tags like header, footer, video, audio tag, many more features like geolocation or local storage, session storage. These things we will cover under the HTML. Again, we move to the CSS. Oh, sorry, I forgot to share my screen, I think. So sorry, I'm sharing my screen. So under the Angular course, we will be covering the like HTML we have discussed earlier. In the CSS, like CSS is what cascading style sheets, under which we can add the styles to the HTML part, and the layouts is what we can say, adding some height and width, the position, setting the positions. For that purpose we use the CSS. Also CSS 3 features like media query, we use it for the responsiveness of the web application. So with the help of media query we can achieve that. Also website layers, as I discussed, like HTML, CSS and JavaScript, mainly we'll focus on that firstly. Obviously we'll start with the Angular, but these three topics are like we should know the like HTML, CSS and JavaScript, that are the basic things. So HTML comes with the content, CSS we can add the styles, and JavaScript we add the functionality. So I have one basic example here to understand what is like HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So here we can see the human skeleton. Human skeleton is what we can consider the HTML. So if we write any HTML on the HTML file, so it comes with the like it's not having font size, or it's not having color. It is as it is. What we write, we can able to see on the browser, right? So for the look and feel, to look it good, so we can add the CSS styles to it. Like we will add the font size, we will add the color, we will add the height and width, so it can be look good. Like here we can see the CSS part. Here the human skeleton is having the dress up and having the color black color t-shirt, and the jeans having color. So with the help of CSS we can achieve these things. And again with the JS, the human is interacting with something, like he's reading something. So the interactiveness or response by, for example, if we click on the website on any button, so the color of the text will be changed or something will be happen. That things will be managed by the JavaScript. So yes, I will have some like code demo as well. So through which I will show you like uh, how will be the HTML file looks like, and how will we attach the CSS file to it, how will we attach the JavaScript file to it, and like how many ways we can apply the CSS to the HTML content, what are the tags, what are the attributes. So here, first of all, here we can see the doc type HTML. In doc type HTML, it tells us the version of the HTML. Like this definition is very short. In HTML4 it was very long, but we can consider it as a HTML5. If we see the doc type HTML, so we will be ensure that we are working with the HTML5. Here is the mainly there are three parts in the HTML file. There is a HTML tag in which head and body are get wrapped. So inside the head there are meta tags, few of the meta tags. Here we can say char set UTF-8 is used for the languages, and we can see the name viewport tag, which is used for the responsiveness, like initial width of the viewport, it scale to the 1. And here is a title. Under the title, we can add the title to the file. For example, we can see the single document here. So if we go on the browser and a minute. It's not going. So here is the title single document. which we write inside the title tag. So we can show it here. The title of our website will be single document. Simply, I have developed some code here to understand the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript interaction. So inside the body tag, we will write the I have taken the div tag. Inside the div tag, there is a p tag, and p tags having the text, "Hi everyone, welcome to the Angular demo session." So this text, as soon as this index.html renders on the web, and we will able to see this text, which is like inside the body tag. So each and everything inside the body tag we write, it can be shown on the web browser. Here I have added the style. We call it as an attribute. The p is the tag here, which opens and the closes. Between the open and close, we can write the text like I have written here. We can give the ID attribute, or we can add the styles. We call it as a inline styles. So it will be appearing on the web like this. Hi everyone, welcome to the Angular demo session. So as soon as I click on this button, the text will be changed. So this functionality we have achieved with the click function, like click event of the JavaScript. We can call it as a magic of JavaScript, that on click of this button, I am able to change the text. And also I have another file in which if I click on the button, the text of the color also change, and text is also changed. So in this way, we will like learn HTML and CSS throughout our journey. Okay, we will see the whole syllabus we are going to cover in this course. So under the HTML5, we will be covering the web programming introduction, like what are how to build an website, what the layout of the website will be like. There will be an header, the main tag, and the footer. So in this way, in proper way, we will build an various websites, and we will learn. So another thing is history of HTML, like what you need to do, get going and make your first HTML page. Like we will build some sample pages to practice. We will cover some topics like HTML tag versus element. What is tag? What is element? What are the attribute? The HTML basic formatting tags. HTML grouping using div span, like how to group different tags. Like here we see the div and span tag. The div is a block level element, span is an inline element. So we will be covering the like what will be the block level element, difference between block level and inline elements, how to use it in our website. Also HTML lists. So inside this topic, there are the order list, unordered list. We will see. Also the HTML hyperlink, using the href tag, we will able to move from one pages to another page, or URL encoding. These things we will be see very thoroughly in our Angular course. HTML table, again HTML iframe. Also this is one of the main topic from HTML forms, input, text area, button. Because when we work with the like day to day, we work with our company, in our company. So while working, these tags are very common, which we need to use in day-to-day life. So form, input, text area, button, select, label. These are the very common things and very simple things. When we start with the course, we will have fun to learn that. Also, HTML headers. Inside the headers, there is title, base, link, style, script, meta. The meta tag, as we see here, these are the meta tags. This is a title tag which comes under the HTML file. Also, as I earlier mentioned, the HTML5 APIs like local storage, session storage, cookies, which are the very important, which plays the very important role to save the information which is coming from APIs or to interact with the web browser. Also, we will covering the introduction to HTML graphics like canvas and SVGs, which are also important part. And each and everything I'm discussing here is very simple. Like when we start with our course, then it will be really fun to like. The magic of HTML and CSS is like when we write something on the HTML file and attach some CSS to it, so it will look on the web. So the instant result will be seen. So it will be like very enjoyable thing to work with the front end technology. So in the CSS3, we will see the CSS3 introduction, various syntax like external, internal, or embedded CSS. Also multiple style sheets, various selectors like ID selector, class selector, attribute selector, so ID selector. So these things we will be covered. These things are like really helpful to interact with the HTML and CSS file, also the JavaScript and HTML file. Like from JavaScript, we use the DOM manipulation. Through that, we can get the IDs like this ID selector. With this ID selector, we can get it in our JavaScript file. With the help of that, we can achieve various functionalities. Like we can see here, if I click on this button, so this text change. This text I have access the ID from the look. I will show you into the code. Here on click function is there, and I have access the document.getElement by ID, change text ID. This ID is coming from this p tag. So it will be get very easy to access this p tag in this click function and do whatever you want to do. Like this is a demo.js file. Here I have access the on button click and start inner HTML, this oops text and color changed, and I have also changed the color using the style attribute. X.style.color is equals to blue, and it appears on the web in this file. So as soon as I click, it turns in the blue color and text is also changed. So yes, these are the things we are going to cover, like background cursor, background image, what are the background positions of the images we need to like implement, what are the problems facing, what are the problems we are facing when we attach the background image, how to fix that. Also the fonts, like under the font there is a color, background color, text decoration. These are the very simple properties we are able to use in HTML and CSS, so that we will having the great result on the browser. CSS3 box model. So box model is also a really important topic, which is every interviewer should ask you this question, like what is the CSS3 box model. So when each and every element renders on the web, it comes with the CSS box model, which is having the content, padding, margin. These are the things which contains with the box model. Also positioning. So inside the CSS, we will see the positioning like static, fixed, relative, and absolute. This is also a key key feature of the CSS3 to perform or develop any web application. Again, Z index, CSS floats, flexbox. Also, we will cover the flex and the bootstrap. So we will have a fun to learn the HTML, CSS, bootstrap, and JavaScript. I think, thank you guys. That's it from me.
Okay. Thank you, Avinash. So I'm Rohit, and I am having a 5+ years of experience in IT industry. I am having a knowledge of HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, Node.js, and Angular, as well as JavaScript. So I am going to cover JavaScript and Angular part. So without wasting time, we will see introduction about the JavaScript and Angular. Just a minute, I will share my screen. Is it up? Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. So in JavaScript, we will cover some basics about JavaScript. From scratch, we will learn JavaScript. So we will see today how JavaScript is introduced. It was invented in 1995 by Brendan Each. It is a scripted language, and it is a synchronous single-threaded language, and it is mainly used for client-side web development. Client-side is a application which runs on a browser. As we know, we load the website on Chrome, Safari, or Firefox. That is a client-side web development. And JavaScript is a platform independent language. Means one JavaScript code can be executable on every browser. We don't need to do some configuration to run that program to run any other platform. So JavaScript is a mainly basic single text file which is having a .js extension. So this is the basic introduction about JavaScript. In JavaScript has some magic, as Avinash told you, we can have an interactive interface through JavaScript. Like suppose he told you that we can click the button and then we can change the text of that element. This is the very basic example. We have a lot of advanced feature in JavaScript, like manipulating content, which is the style of that element, text of element, or we can have a pop-up, or like we can have some animations through JavaScript, and it is also used for a form validation. One example is that we have a login form, suppose, and we have entered a wrong password. Then we get the error message that you have entered the wrong password. That is all is maintained by the JavaScript. And also we can dynamically load the data through JavaScript. Like suppose we get the data from server, our backend. That is also we can display over our website or our browser through JavaScript only. So JavaScript is widely used language throughout it's a widely used language. Next, this is the simple example of JavaScript. So you can see in a blue color, that is a script tag, and inside the script tag, that is one JavaScript written snippet, document.write HR, document.write hello world wide web, document.write HR. So we can see this content is dynamically loaded. So you can see in H1 for JavaScript page, this is a static content. So we cannot modify until and unless we change the code. But with the JavaScript, we can have a dynamic content using this document.write functionality. So that is the magic of JavaScript. So we can load any type of data or any kind of we can say dynamic data with the help of JavaScript. Next, we will see Angular introduction. Angular is a pure, basically JavaScript framework, which enhance the feature of JavaScript, which simplifies the JavaScript features. Means in JavaScript, as Avinash told you, we have to write document dot write get element by ID. That is the lengthy process. That the code is too lengthy. So Angular simplifies the code. So it is basically introduced in 2016, which is Angular 2 version, and which is developed by and supported by Google. One of the most basic, or we can say advanced feature of Angular is a single page application. Single page application is nothing but the application in which we don't load the whole page. We saw whenever we click on the one page, then we link or we get navigated to the another page. What happens in the previous technologies, then whole page which get loaded, which is a time consuming and not a memory efficient. So with the Angular, only that part of the body is get loaded dynamically, other part remains same. That's why Angular is a very famous technology. These are the version of Angular. So first Angular JS was initially released in 2010, which is totally different from Angular 2 plus, because Angular 2 is totally rewritten of Angular JS. And Angular JS is purely based on a TypeScript. It's purely based on a JavaScript. But Angular 2 plus is based on a TypeScript, and TypeScript is nothing but a superset of JavaScript. Means JavaScript is a loosely coupled, and TypeScript is a highly coupled. We cannot means we can provide the class interface functionality through TypeScript, which doesn't have a JavaScript. And current version of JavaScript, latest stable version of JavaScript is 12, and latest beta version which is in development is a 14. And we are covering a Angular 10 version in our course, because there is no difference between Angular 12, 10 and 14, because it has a minor differences like adding some functionality, removing some bugs or glitch, or removing some features which is not efficient. So there is no lot of difference, no need to worry about that. Next, this is the basic architecture of Angular, which we should know definitely before starting with the Angular. So Angular has a 8 building block, which is dependent on modules. So every application has a one basic module which is called as a root module. I will show you an example, and each module has a different components. So module is components having a different data templates or TypeScript logic, which is we called as a business logic. So third one is a templates. As I said, components having a template. So each component has a one single template in which you write the HTML code, as Avinash told you. Other than we have a metadata. Metadata is nothing but a data about data, which is a basic definition. So to run the Angular application, we need to configure some data. Then only we can run Angular application. So that is the metadata. Data binding is also one of the good feature of Angular, in which we bind the data through controller to view. I will show you an example. Other than there is a different type of data we will cover in next session. And we have a directives, which is mostly used to for DOM manipulations. DOM is a document object model, which is a background of HTML. So other than we have a services. Services is nothing but the which is mainly used for transporting data between server and front-end application, means server and client, our browser. So through which we can share the data. And last one is a dependency injection. Dependency injection, as per the name, we have to inject some dependencies. Then only our application will run. Which is one of the best example of dependency injection is services. Until and unless we don't inject the services in our application, then we can't able to use that service. So dependency injection means with this feature, we can inject only that feature and directly we can use it. So using Angular is a very simple, and that makes the JavaScript means that makes it easier for to developer the Angular application. So we will check for the one example of Angular application. So I have created one project for you. This might be for some confusing for you, but don't worry about that. I will explain each and everything about you. Just we need to focus on at the beginner level, we have to focus on SRC folder. These are the some configuration part we will cover in next sessions. So as I told you, this app.module.ts file, this is the basic root module, one module, which is having every Angular application have this, and this is the one component. So this is a TS file. This is a specs file. As the developer, we no need to worry about this file. This is a template file, HTML. We write the template or whatever HTML code, and this is CSS file. We mainly use for designing our HTML pages. So for that we have to run application. We use an Angular CLI command interface. Previously I have compiled this code using a ng serve command. So our application will create bundles and then we will render it on HTML. Just a minute, I will show you. This is the example. So this is I have taken only simple basic example, hello world and Angular. So I will show you one type of binding, as I told in previous slide, data binding. So here is a title. So you think this will render directly as a title, but no, this is an interpolation. We can have a curly braces around that, and we have taken this title as an Angular. As you can see, here is Angular. Suppose if I make a changes to here, hello world, then it will directly update in that HTML page. So I have saving the code, it's compiling, generating bundle, then it will get updated. So with this we can achieve anything because it's not that much hard to develop an application. So with this we can do anything or build an application. Okay. And other things, these are the node modules, Angular, VS Code, index.html. We will cover all these in the upcoming sessions. I just wanted to show you one basic example. That's why I took this example about hello world. And next we will see what we are going to cover in JavaScript syllabus and Angular syllabus. So we will learn it from scratch. In JavaScript, what is JavaScript, evolution, features, advantages and disadvantages. Moving ahead, JavaScript data types, variables, all types of data types, var, let, const, what is hoisting, which is related to the means interview perspective we will cover. Then we will have a JavaScript operators, type of operator, bitwise operator, comparison operator. Then JavaScript statement, which is a if else, means which is a basic in C language, so which is used for conditional purpose, functions, then object, then event handling, how we can handle the events, or that is Avinash told you about the click event. Then JavaScript exception handling, when we get the error, then what we can achieve to means analyze error or minimize the error, document object model. And main feature of JavaScript is ES6 feature, which is introduced in 2015. So we will have a let, const, keyword, arrow functions, the spirit operator, classes, promises. So all the things we are going to cover. And in Angular syllabus, we are going to cover basic of Angular, means setup of Angular, what is the prerequisite required to run the application of Angular, modules and components. As I told you, one component is there. So we are going to create a different type of module, different type of component, custom module, custom component. So this is the module and components. So which is having a basic some sub topics. Then data binding, as I told you, one example of data binding, that is the interpolation. This is the string interpolation, as I showed you in example. Then this is having in data binding. Then directives, as I told you, in building blocks, dependency injection, routing. Suppose we have to create the multiple pages to link each other in application, then we use the routing. Then forms, as I told you, one example of login, that is form, reactive forms. And after that, pipes, HTTP request, we have to send the request to the backend to get the data. Authentication means only valid user can run the application run the API, which is required through, means which we can implement through authentication. Angular modules, HTTP client, which is used for to hitting the APIs to the backend. These are the things we are going to cover. So that's it. Thank you.
Okay, so that's it about the demo, guys. Yeah, thank you, Rohit and Avinash, for such a lovely demo. Okay, now we are open for questions. If you have any question, then you can ask. Yeah, Shipra, Pooja, Ashan can ask the question if you have any. Yeah, Pooja, Shipra, do you have any question?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay then. If you don't have any question, then we'll stop here. Thanks for joining this demo session. Have a great day ahead.
Yeah, thank you everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Ahmed.
Yeah,
Thank you, everyone.
thanks.